Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay. So, welcome everyone to our defense and immunity event. I don't like to call them classes really anymore. I don't know what it is. I think people have a hard time sometimes with classes, but I call it an event. It's an event to get together, event to build community and knowledge, gain some knowledge and education. So that's what I'm calling it. So my disclaimer for any of our Zoom uh, events is that we don't intend to treat, diagnose, or cure diseases. Okay, so we have a lot of good information and good products, good quality products to offer you support with your health, but we don't go there. So we're not doctors. I wanted to go into maybe an assessment that you can think of in your own head on some of the questions I'm going to be asking you. Do you get colds and flu each year? Do your joints swell up? Are you losing muscle tone? Do you have maybe some dental problems? Do you have some chronic leg and back pain? Are you maybe a slave to your genetics? These are kind of some questions you want to be thinking of that, one or two of those sound like yes to you, then your immune system can be definitely compromised. So some statistics that I have on your immune system, or specifically autoimmune disease, is 30% of all autoimmune disease is genetic. And the 70%, the other 70% to make your 100%, can be due to good or bad lifestyle choices. So, it could be 70% you're making pretty good choices regularly, or, you're choosing the wrong foods to fuel and energize and provide the right nutrients for your body. So the goal I have here is, this is our goal. A good defense is the best defense. Is the best offense. I'm sorry. So I'll repeat that. A good defense is the best offense. So your defense is going to be your constant communication with your immune system. And did you know that half your immune system is in your GI tract? So your immune system is a balancing act. It's one of those things where you think of when you're driving, you want to stay in your lane. You don't want to veer left or right.
Mhm.
And we want to have immune surveillance. Okay, so this is on a daily basis. You want a low level of that ongoing. You basically, your immune system and the communication it has with your body it's transported by lymph and circulatory systems. So what I wanted to go into right now is some what I would call my top 8 best things that I do daily for my immune system. So the first one is that I exercise regularly. I find while it's not always possible, I find that exercising in the morning is the best. And it's because, you're fresh, you have the most energy, and then when I exercise in the morning, I find that the rest of my day, I have energy to take me through until I pass out in bed. So, um, I would also say that if that's not realistic for you in the morning, I would say 10 to 20 minute spurts throughout the day where you know, walk, let's say 10 minutes. You can get your steps. I like to shoot for about 10,000 steps in a day. And you can get there, you know, let's say 4 different times in a day by doing 10 to 20 minutes of that. Um, I just incorporated this recently with some more weight training, and I try to do that at least 2 to 3 times a week. So number two, eat live foods. And I said this last night to my husband, and he said, "Live foods? What else are we eating? We're eating live foods. You know, what else? We're not going to eat dead food." You know? I go, "Well, you'd be surprised. The dead food to us is really processed foods. That's, you know, the chips and, you know, the empty calories that we're eating. So, you know, ice cream, so, you know, things like whole greens, you know, the plants, the fruits, the protein, you know, high protein foods. You know, some people, I say high protein because I don't want, some people are vegetarian and I don't want to say that you have to eat meat. So, so it's that type when I say live foods. And you know, growing a garden, I think this past year has been the best for people to start a garden and, you know, become self-sustainable. And it's so much fun and it tastes so fresh. Also, farmers markets are wonderful. You're supporting local farmers, and they're wonderful. And I have to point out too, that's really important, is going organic. Yes, and especially, you can look it up. You can do a Google search on the 15 Dirty Dozen. Is that what it's called? Dirty Dozen, I think. It sounds like that doesn't sound right. 15 Dirty Dozen. Dozen is it's 15 of the dirty uh, foods like uh, potatoes and strawberries. If those are the most highly you know, people putting pesticides and chemicals on those type of foods, potatoes and blueberries and strawberries are like the top three up there. So, you know, even a banana, you know, you think that you don't need an organic banana, but you really do because it really starts in the ground in the soil that goes up into the tree trunk and everything. So that's important as well. Oh, I wanted to mention that I have a co teacher in this event, and her name is Marissa. And I met her in November at our women's retreat. And so we have a lot of likes and similarities and, you know, goals in life. And she has a lot of great input on the Young Living product. She actually has more experience than me. She started back in 1995 with her first product, and we'll tell you a little bit later what that product is because we have a lot to say about it, and it's our flagship product. But I'm going to turn it over to her right now to just talk to you a little bit about free radicals.
Hi. Well, nice to meet you all. Thank you, Catherine, for letting me be part of this event tonight. And my experience with free radicals has been a journey. I'm not an expert, obviously. I just can share what I've learned through my journey, and it's the reason why it's become really important to me and why I've learned a lot about free radicals and enzymes is because my stepfather, who raised me growing up, got cancer. And so when I was in college, he got cancer, and he and my mom were working diligently to find solutions and natural remedies to help because he didn't have a lot of time. He was given, I believe, like 6 months to live, and that's all they said. Well, there's nothing else we can do for you. And they started to reach out to a lot of companies. This is, back then, and I remember all of those books that he was reading about macrobiotic diets and enzymes and things that I wasn't familiar with. Honestly, I didn't know anything about it. And he started learning a lot of things, and he started to change his ways. And my parents had told me, this is what we learned, that our bodies need real fuel. To put it in layman's terms, like you were saying, eating whole foods, it's not easy. I understand. I'm a mom of four, and they eat all of that. They eat processed foods too, and they go through all that. But we make slowly changes, one thing at a time, and teaching them about making good choices and how do you feel after you ate that the French fries versus when you ate the salad. Maybe you don't feel full, but at the same time, you don't feel like going to sleep right now. And so there's a lot of things about teaching our kids about how do you feel, and how do you look, and how's your skin, and how, just different patterns. And so with the enzymes, what I learned is that when we're born, that we have these enzymes that are in our body, and as we choose foods that are not the best for us, that they start to deplete. We start to deplete those enzymes, what I have learned. And so it's really important that we consume those, get those enzymes from live food. And enzymes are very delicate too. They can, if you cook them at a very high temperature, you can destroy them in our food. So that's why we know that if we're really gentle, and we hear about like soaking your beans and, doing a lot of things to protect vitamins or enzymes in our foods. And so that's something that I learned, that those free radicals are around us all the time. I mean, even when we're exercising, we're creating free radical damage in our bodies, right? Because you're putting your body through that stress. Even though it's a natural stress, it's going through a stress. And the example that I give to the children is, think about like when people are building muscle, like weightlifting or some type of, you're tearing that muscle down. And so that's why it's hurting, and you're picking up that weight and you're tearing it down. And then all of a sudden, what happens? Your body knows how to repair itself. And so then it starts to heal itself, and then it builds up and it builds up. And that's why your muscles get stronger. It's like us in life. We have challenges and trials, and they knock us down, but it's what makes us stronger because we rise from them and we learn from them. And so our muscles are doing the same thing. And so that's the experience that I have, how important it is that we are able to consume foods that are living, because food is energy. And when I try to explain that to the younger generation, I just say, think about a bag of chips. Those bag of chips are on the shelf for so long. If you look at their shelf life, they stay on there for so long, so they don't really rot. They may get stale over time. But you leave an apple, slice an apple, and you put it on the table, within minutes, it's going to start turning brown. And I said, do you guys know why? And I said, because that's called oxidation. Oxidation is like in the air, we have free radicals, and it's starting to, attack the apple. This is around us, and we can't see it happening inside our body, but you can clearly see it when you look at an apple. And I said, so that's what's happening inside our bodies, is when we have free radicals are in there and they're creating this damage. And so it's like rusting. When you see a bike that's rusted, that's what's happening inside your body. And so we need that protection to kind of get in there and like clean it, get that rust off and make ourselves new. And we can do that. We can do that by the foods that we eat, and we do our best. So
Well,
that's a little bit about it. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Marissa. That was so well tied in with exercise and, tearing down the muscle, and also live foods and enzymes. Enzymes are in plants, right? They're in a lot of things. And you said like we were even born with enzymes for the rest of our life, right?
Right.
So, but unfortunately, those foods out there that we're eating, they've been broken down, they've been genetically modified, and now we're having to replace those enzymes and use supplements to break down the fats and the proteins and the carbs and all of that. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And something that I didn't mention was, I remember watching my mom and my stepdad preparing these new meals, which really, it's not even really preparing, because you're not really cooking anymore. They stopped cooking, and that's what they learned, was when we cook, we kill them, the enzymes. Not so much vitamins, but the enzymes are being killed through the temperature. So they bought the Vitamix, and I remember how much they had invested back then. It was like over $300 or more. And they were making soups, natural soups, and the Vitamix would only get to a certain temperature to where it was not destroying the enzymes. And so they were telling me, this is what we're doing. we're preparing our food and we're not cooking anymore. Because when you cook it, I learned a lot from them, high altitudes, like barbecuing, that's a whole different thing too, because
Right.
the meat is heating too fast, the flesh, and yeah, we all love barbecue, but I'm just, what I learned was, I said, oh, I see. So like a crock pot is a good alternative. You want to eat something, you got to slow cook it, that it doesn't get so high and it's not cooking it so fast. And that blackening of like chicken and the meat on the grill, highly carcinogenic. I didn't know these things. We grew up this way. We ate all of these things, and some of us might say, oh, well, I'm not going to stop doing that because that's what we do as a family for traditions. But when somebody that you love is going through that, you make those changes. You don't have a choice, because we were just trying to get an extra day with him and he wanted to live, and so you make those changes in those drastic situations. And so I did. What was a miracle was that he's not with us anymore, but he actually lived a lot longer, months longer than they thought he would. And he made those changes, and it all actually helped our family, right? Because the whole family, when you come on board as a family, it helps to have that support with each other. I mean, it doesn't have completely go right field on what you're doing, but it's one thing a week or one thing a year, or however it is that you're making those changes for your family. It's for a great cause.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, just when you're on a lifestyle change, you got to just make one step. Just you don't want to just not start. You want to start one step at a time and just incorporate, those little changes. Yeah, and before you know it, you're on the road to huge health. It's making big changes. Thank you so much, Marissa. That was such
You're welcome.
a good addition to this. And I know we'll be hearing more from Marissa with some more, a few stories that she'll be sharing. And thank you. Yes. Okay, so my next topic is number 3 that I do for supporting and balancing my immune system, and that is supplements. And one of those supplements is the enzymes that Marissa was talking about, and also including A, B, C, D, zinc, magnesium, omega-3s, and probiotics. And I don't know if you knew, but A helps absorb the D. Okay, so that's important for the A and the D to be in your diet as well. And I know, in the past year that we've had that terrible virus that's been everywhere, we definitely, the big top ones for supplements has been the D and the zinc and the you probably haven't heard magnesium, but that one is definitely important as well. And C. So we have a super vitamin D that I use. My levels were actually low. And when I started taking this new supplement, it's kind of a newer supplement with Young Living, which helps with key function in your respiratory health and your immune system. That's what D is for. But anyways, my levels were under, and when I retested recently, my vitamin D levels were normal. So the vitamins working, and it's just these 2 little tablets that you put under your tongue, dissolve for 10 seconds, and then you chew them up, and they actually taste good too. So they're chewable. For those of you who don't like to take capsules and and swallow things. So another one is Super C. And we have a really good one that's a chewable as well. We also have it in a tablet form, but the chewable has more benefits. In particular, the Camu Camu, which is high in vitamin C, antioxidants. It's it helps with antiviral properties. And actually reducing sun damage as well. And this Camu Camu ingredient, this is something I just even researched on the internet. So when it tells you it's antiviral and it helps reduce sun damage, even it helps with colds, and cold virus, what do you call those?
Cold
The
sores.
cold sores. Yeah, yeah. So this is all on the internet on just Camu Camu, that ingredient. Also, it has I can't even pronounce it. Acerola. Acerola. Have you heard of that ingredient? Okay, you can Google that ingredient as well to see what properties that has in it. Cherry and also rose hips fruit powder. So those are the key ingredients in that vitamin C that is, much different from some of the other vitamin C out there on the, with other companies. The next one is Inner Defense, and it has oregano and thyme. It's in a nice gel capsule, and it also has the Thieves Blend. So I might as well touch on the Thieves Blend. The Thieves Blend has cinnamon, clove, eucalyptus, lemon, and rosemary essential oils, and really, really powerful blend that I guess I can tell now. I was going to tell it later, the story, but it goes back to the 15th century with 4 Frenchmen who ransacked the dead at the time of the bubonic plague. And they went in there and they were robbers and they stole things, and they came out unharmed, no illness, nothing. And people were looking at them like, how did you do that? Everybody's dying when they, come around the the sick, and with this Thieves Blend, they came out just fine. And the judge actually came out with, a lighter sentence when they told them, when they told the judge that story, that, hey, how did that happen? How did you come out? So their sentence was a lot lighter for telling that, their truth of what happened. And that's the story of thieves. So it's pretty powerful story. And I wanted to say hi to Parwat. I'm hoping I'm saying it right. I saw a glimpse of you. You popped in. He's actually from India. And he, what's going on in India, there's lockdown right now. So he knows firsthand what's going on, with this virus. And I'm sure there's lots of tips that he'll get from this. But anyways, what else? So the Inner Defense, that is made up of all those oils. It reinforces your systemic defenses. It creates unfriendly terrain for yeast and bacteria. You can take 1 gel cap in the morning, and you can take up to 3 to 5. I wanted to share my story, and I know Marissa has a story as well for her kids on taking that Inner Defense gel cap. But my story is, for years now, when I start seeing some imbalance with my health, like let's say I'll start getting a headache, or I'll start being a little bit more tired and have fatigue, or let's say a tickle is coming on with my throat, just something that shows my body's not in balance. Well, in my experience, I have taken a capsule, just one, of this Inner Defense, and I take it, and I'm bouncing back within a few hours. And, the headache's gone. I've had, the fatigue just goes away. It's been my go-to for, being my emergency, when I feel my body's going out of balance. And also people are using it for that time of the year seasonally, like spring, with seasonal allergies. They've used it when they're traveling. I've used it when I travel. I don't actually go without having this, and taking it before I travel, during, and after to help my immune system. So it's been huge for me. So Marissa, do you want to share your story with Inner Defense?
Sure. So I have a bottle right here, and I always show my friends or people when I talk about the products. I go, look, there's nothing in here. it's rare because you go into cabinets and usually we have so much stuff, and I show them like everything's empty because it works. If it wasn't working, then we wouldn't be investing or spending time. So the inner defense, I really love it. Like you said, it has the oils from the essential oil blend beefs, which is the cloves and the rosemary, like you said, and the lemon. I can easily put that in like in a drink and drink it, but for the kids, it could be different. It might not sit well with them for some reason. It's not that it tastes bad. It's just, this is so much easier. And that's what I like, is that they can just take it. And for my son, he plays football. I have one in high school. It's great because it's hard to get him to drink a green smoothie or take any vitamins or supplements. But when I tell him, okay, if he's like, I'm just gonna take one thing, mom, I'm not gonna take all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, dang it, what am I gonna narrow this down to? This is the one that I give him, is the inner defense, because of the oils that it has, especially like oregano, the lemongrass, and thyme. Those are really powerful oils. And I've noticed a big difference with him. I actually noticed with his recovery time when he got injured. He'd get injured, often, because he also played basketball. And so I would tell him, look, do you notice anything? And he's like, no, you're right. My recovery time is a lot faster. And it's the only thing. It's one thing when people are taking so many things, they don't know what it is that's really helping them. Maybe it's this, maybe it's that. But because it was just one capsule, like you said, one gel cap, he knew that this was helping. And now with my younger one, she's 12, she has allergies, seasonal allergies. And so instead of giving her the Zyrtec and all the things that I was used to doing that would help her, it was a natural alternative. I just wanted to try something different to see if it was helping her. And it really was helping her, because every morning before school, she was with a box of tissues and her eyes all tightly shut, and just miserable. And it's embarrassing too, especially during COVID. It's really hard when you have allergies, because kids are like, you have COVID, and at that age, it's really hard for them to deal with all those things. So it was nice to know that she's like, Mom, I felt really good. I didn't have those symptoms as I usually do with my runny nose. I felt like, it made me feel better right away. So I said, that's wonderful. So those are the things that I love, that I can take it. My son is noticing something, and that the children were too.
Yeah, and who doesn't want to feel better, right? I
Really.
mean, when you find a good thing, yeah, you just yeah, and when you can feel like you empower yourself by keeping your supply of what works for you, right?
Mhm.
Um, because I have felt the most empowered over these past 4 years than I ever have about my health. I was brought up with, Western medicine with my family. And then as I approached college, I started learning more about, just the natural uh, stuff that you can provide for your body. And it's just so healing, I mean, I was amazed that turmeric, recently it helped my headache, and I don't have to, I feel like I don't have to take ibuprofen, you know? So, anyways, whatever, you can do to support you, and you just got to be on your own journey to find what supports your health. Okay. So I'm trying to think, what's oh yeah. Well, Master Formula is another one. That's a comprehensive multiple vitamin, if you want to call it, or supplement. So that's a good one. The enzymes we've talked about already, that help break down your food, which is necessary, especially in this day and age with our food. Not being so high in quality, unfortunately. There's another supplement called ImmuPro, which has zinc and selenium, which is good for sleep. And also it has immune supporting polysaccharides. So that's that ImmuPro. We have Life9 probiotics, which are great to take at night. You want to, probiotics support your microbiome. And this one has 9 strains, and it's a great thing to be working on your gut, because we all know that our gut is a big portion, 70 to 80% of our immune system. So you want to support a healthy gut. What else? Oh, yes. Marissa, were you going to talk a little bit about for your kids the probiotics that they take?
Absolutely. So I do believe in pre and probiotics for sure. I don't have a whole closet full of vitamins, but I do believe in the ones that we're talking about really strongly. And so I take the Life 9, that's the probiotic for adults. And where's that? And it's empty. So everything's being reordered. But this is the one that I give to the kids, the Mighty Pro pre and probiotic for the kids. And they come in the little tubes and they just put in their water. And surprisingly, they enjoy it and they ask for it. It's not just because it's sweet or anything and they just want some sweet. It's like they actually notice a difference. And why I love this and why I notice a difference is because those that are struggling with like my children struggle with gluten allergies. I have nut allergies. One of my son has a nut allergy and my other daughter has gluten allergies. And so the prebiotics, they really help them when they're eating and they notice a big difference. And so this is something that I would recommend that if somebody's looking for some relief in that area as well, that has been successful for our family and that they're noticing improvement.
Okay. Oh, awesome. Were you finished? I didn't want to cut you off.
Done. No, it's fine.
Okay, great. I'm just finding what I need on, I had posted something on Instagram on supplements, and I wanted to read a little bit about that, why these supplements are so different from what is out there. So there was a study done in 2017 that determined 76% of adults took some sort of dietary supplements. And unfortunately, the supplement industry is not regulated. So federal law doesn't require dietary supplements to be proven safe to FDA satisfaction. The Surgeon General claimed that 90 to 100% of products at CVS, that's our, some of you don't know, CVS is just our local pharmacy, has even products that you can go in without getting from the pharmacy, were falsified or even synthetic, made in the lab. Mm-hmm. So your body does not know what to do with the synthetic supplement, and it does not get absorbed or give any benefits. So many of us have been purchasing supplements that are really not doing anything for us. And what are we doing? A lot of people say, I'm just peeing them out. Why should I even take supplements? Kind of lost my place.
I've heard that people use the term that we have very expensive urine.
Yes, we have very expensive urine. That's another one. So the right supplements give our immune system the tools it needs to fill in the gap, getting enough of the right nutrients. So why take, let's say, these Young Living supplements that are filled with essential oils, right? And that's the difference right there. Over 35 years ago, Gary Young formulated the first nutritional supplement with essential oils. His first two products contain herbs and essential oils. One was Vitagreen, which is now Multigreens, and Comfortone, which were formulated back in 1984. So he saw tremendous positive response in his patients, which he set on a path of formulating numerous supplements and products with essential oils. So that was his start with putting essential oils in supplements. So clinical experience has shown that before putting essential oils in the Multigreens formula, there was 42% blood absorption in 24 hours. Mm-hmm. After adding the essential oils to the formula, blood absorption increased to 64% in 30 minutes, 86% in 1 hour. Incredible. The conclusion was that the cells were now receiving the nutrients they had previously not been able to assimilate. So when you take supplements infused with essential oils, they aid in the absorption of whatever you are taking. The problem with low quality supplements, like, going to CVS or maybe even, some of these other stores, is that our body does not absorb the nutrients. And it's important then to be taking high quality supplements. So that was a post that I wrote on Instagram, and you can find it on there if you want to review it. What else? Quality sleep is number 4. Quality sleep. So, without quality sleep, where are we? I mean, if you've been without sleep for 3 days straight, and I could actually vouch for that, because I did actually, this is pre essential oils for me. I had a sinus infection, which also have also, in my experience, I haven't been having those either. But anyways, so pre-essential oils, I had a sinus infection, and I was having some other things going on, upper respiratory, and they gave me this prednisone. I'm sure everyone's heard of prednisone. And I did not sleep for 3 days. And it was terrible. It was terrible. And I went to my doctor and I said, what's going on? And they go, oh, well, we need to take that out. You should have called us earlier. And I go, I didn't know, but I was wide awake for 3 days. So I know what it is like to not have sleep for 3 days. So, what do you start experiencing? You start experiencing like kind of deliria, and, you might be a little more irritable. So not good. So if you take your probiotics every night, that's great. That's helping your immune system. It's helping your gut. Mega-Cal is another one that I even took this last night. Okay, it's hard to see. You can't see it back there, but it's a big container that I take 1 scoop of a powder and put it in water, about 4 ounces of water, and it has calcium and magnesium. Those 2 minerals are what your body needs for also sleep. So it was a very good sleep last night. I also took, I dropped some lavender on my head with some cedarwood. Cedarwood essential oil helps you get that nice REM state of sleep, so that you have a good 4 to 5 hours of solid sleep. And I actually remember dreaming this morning, and I'm not a dreamer. So when I dream, I know I'm sleeping really good. So, okay, my number 5 for my top 8, been balancing your immune system. Number 5 is avoiding stress. Now I know that sometimes seems hard, but it's how you manage it, right? How we manage the stress, and how we react to it. So if you can learn some ways to cope with stress, meditation is good, taking a walk, just, try to do those kind of things. Sometimes remove yourself from the situation so that you can calm down and come back to it a little bit more sensibly. Stress is really bad. It can alter the immune system and your immune function. So that's what I have to say about that. So another one is staying hydrated. That's another important one. It fires your cells in your body. It fires them up. When you're hydrated, you fuel the cells in your body so that they're alive and they're hydrated, right? You can tell just by looking at your skin sometimes if you're not hydrated. Number 7 is limiting sugar. Mm-hmm. Our immune system goes into overdrive when we have sugar. I don't know, if you've seen kids get amped up around Halloween. It's sure Marissa knows, right? Yeah. Well, maybe you don't let them have candy. I don't know, but but if they have too much, especially, maybe let them have a treat here and there. But the sugar and sugar also causes inflammation. which is another thing that we're trying to minimize, is the inflammation with your immune system, right? So my number 8, we're almost there. Number 8 is living a toxin-free lifestyle. You want to be free of the bad chemicals as much as you can out there in your environment. You know, you have your home environment, and you can have more control over that than being outside, right? So, you know, you want to get air purifiers if you can. You want your diffuser. That also helps with the air. It also adds humidity to the air, so it's not so dry. All these chemicals out there are, you know, disrupting hormones. The chemicals out there are, you know, not helping with asthma, people with asthma and allergies or skin sensitivities. And we also have something with Young Living, is our Thieves product line. So it's not just the Thieves essential oil blend that we have. We have a whole product line of personal care products that are free of toxic chemicals. We have over 600 products that are toxin free. And also your cleaning products. So Thieves personal care products and cleaning products based off of the Thieves blend: cinnamon, clove, eucalyptus, lemon, and rosemary. And you know, we'll probably have another one of these Zoom events that go more extensively over the Thieves products. But just so you know, you can start with one product to swap out, let's say a laundry detergent or soap that you're using out there. I'm going to use, you know, a brand Tide that's known to have chemicals in it. You know, it's not plant-based, and ours are plant-based. But they also do the trick. You know, they clean, they make you smell good. So I wanted to, we're almost at our closing, but I wanted to bring Marissa back. She's been so wonderful with all her story sharing. And she has a phenomenal story that her first product that she tried back in 1995 as a teenager that just blows my socks off with the story that she got. Yeah. But I guess I'll share mine after you. So we'll go to you and I'll share mine.
Okay, you're so cute. Thank you. So my story is about this bottle here, Thieves. And we've been talking about Young Living. This was the very first product that I started with, and I was in college. And I was a freshman in college, and I was having a really hard time because I had a really bad toothache. I needed a root canal, and I didn't have health insurance yet. And I was trying to get some health insurance through school and everything, and it was unbearable. It was really bad. And it was like student week, where a lot of students had booths put up, and they had all these things that they were selling and talking about the university and clubs, and there was all kinds of things going on. And I just remember walking down there and coming across a booth, and there was a young lady that had all these bottles, glass bottles of Thieves, and I asked her what they were. And actually I didn't have any experience with essential oils at that point in my life, but I was familiar with a few of the ingredients that she shared with me. She shared the story about the Thieves history of the oil, why Gary decided to formulate this product. And I thought that was fascinating, how they were able to survive that with covering themselves, you know, with the type of herbs that they did. And I told her, well, what is it for? What do you use it for? And what are the ingredients? And, you know, and she said, you know, all I do, she's like, I just put a drop on the Q-tip and I just kind of rub it around my gum. She tells me I had this really bad toothache. And so she starts telling me my own story. She starts telling me that she had this really bad toothache, and she just started to just kind of rub it around there, and that she found some real relief, you know, using this. And since then, she said, you know, now I add it to my toothpaste. I rinse my mouth out, kind of like a mouthwash. I add it to different products, because at that point there wasn't a Thieves line. And I said, wow, that sounds amazing. And I told her, little did you know that I'm going through the same thing. I mean, it's really bad. And so of course I bought it. I had to try it. And it was immediate. It was immediate. When I went home to put that on, it just felt like it went to sleep, you know. And when she mentioned one of the ingredients that caught my attention, it was cloves, that it had clove essential oil. And I said, you know what? This makes sense. I told her, I said, because my mother, she's Japanese and Greek, half and half. And in the Japanese culture, I know growing up, she would always, when we had like nausea or any type of pain, or especially tooth pain, we had these little black charcoal looking balls and they were really soft, and she would give them to us to chew them. And it was horrible. You couldn't even hold that thing down. You just wanted to, spit that out, but it did the job. And my mom would tell me, it has clove. It's made with clove. That's what we use, and it will settle, everything. And then it's an anti-inflammatory. So I knew a little bit about clove from that experience. So this oil, I've been using it that long, over 25 years. And what I love about it is not just that it works. The company hasn't done anything to change the size, the quality, and nothing. It's exactly what I remember it. And it's something that I always recommend to everyone that I know that is having that, just saying, hey, maybe this is something that could provide some relief for you. I'm excited that we now have a Thieves line, and it does work. I do notice a huge difference of how it helps others. And like you said, later on, we could talk about those products, because with my children having allergies, cleaning products makes a big difference when you have asthma, those kind of fumes that you're putting into your air. And like what you talked about, like the laundry detergents, and I had to learn the hard way, why are my kids having these skin allergies? I kept going through their food and making changes in their food, which was good, but it took me a long time to figure out that it was because of the product, the laundry detergent I was using on their clothes. And how that solved the problem by using natural products that worked. So that's my story. I love it. My kids, and now I've learned so much more. I mean, I don't just use it for the oral. I mean, we use the Thieves oil. You can put a drop and rub it on your chest, because since they have asthma and allergies, immediately when I rub that on the chest, because eucalyptus, you've got lemon, you've got rosemary, they automatically go, wow, mom, I can just opens up. They literally say, my chest just opened up. And I said, I'm so glad that you're feeling that relief, whether it's on their chest. And it's so pure that I even cook with it. And I think people think that's insane, but it is. It's so pure that I can put this and make tea, like an herbal tea with it, put it in hot water.
It tastes like a chai latte, right?
It does. Something that you can actually put in your mouth, put on your skin, and it's all natural, better than organic. I mean, I even put in our oatmeal today. I teach them, just put a drop in your oatmeal. If you want to put in a capsule, you can do that. Rubbing it on, or just, any essential oils. We've learned so much. I mean, just putting one drop, and I tell them how to just cup it, rubbing it, and just, especially with anxiety, because we all get anxiety at some level, and the kids right away said, what, just inhale it and just release slowly, so it's a diffuser, or just putting it, or just smelling it straight from the bottle. It's amazing. It really is. The only thing you have to be careful with is because it has that hot oil like cinnamon and clove in your hand. So if you have it on your fingers, definitely wash your hand and don't get that in your eye. But other than that, it's, I mean, what, my daughter now, I'll share this really quick. She puts it in her hair, in her conditioner. Can you believe that?
Ah,
She says that she has found that it has really produced like a lot of moisturizing and shine, and she just loves it. And she's into hair and skin. She's in college. And so I think we're just learning more and more of all of the benefits that the oils can bring for us as we apply them to our lives and see how they work for us.
well, that's something new. I have not heard that. Putting thieves in your shampoo and conditioner. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I know copaiba is in there, as one in our conditioner, and mint and lavender. But yeah, that's a new one for me. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so
you're
much,
welcome.
Marissa. That's a great first story to have. And you go way back to 95 in your first experience. So right when the company was starting. So that's really incredible. Yeah, yeah. It's so great to have you on to share
Oh, thank
that.
you. Thank you so much. It's fun. When something makes a big change, it changes your life. You can't help but just keep sharing it. And then you don't change that. You stay with that because it's working. And
Yeah.
I mean, the price point is, I can't believe if it were triple, I'd still pay for it. and you don't need a lot. I mean, you literally one drop, and then if you were to put it like a pump of lotion, you know what I mean, to rub it on your, or some coconut oil, to rub on their back or under their feet, or, behind your head because you have a headache. I mean, I can't even think of something. I shared with some friends, like, if I had to stay on a deserted island all by myself, this is the oil that I
That would be the
stick
one
with. It
product.
really would be, because I feel
Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
helps so much.
Well, I mean, just think about what we've been exposed to in the last year, and that would be the one product that I would say too, that's your best friend.
It is.
Yeah, and I have a similar experience, like Marissa. My first product was Thieves, and I got a diffuser, and I got the kit with 12 oils, but the Thieves was the one that I tried first, because I happened to have, I remember the month of October, and it was the fall, and I had this sore throat that was just driving me crazy, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm going to see if these oils work. And I put it not in my, I didn't take it orally. I actually just started diffusing it, and it wasn't even that many drops. It was a few drops, and I started diffusing it, and I'm doing some stuff and around the house, in the kitchen, and within an hour, this is my experience, it just, all of a sudden, I'm like stopped in my tracks going, wait a minute, where's my sore throat? And it was only an hour of diffusing the Thieves. So that really got my attention, my aha moment. And I'm like, these oils, they've got something, you know. So that's when I started researching and getting books, and, just diving into these essential oils. Like, this has got my attention. So that's my experience. The Thieves was my first as well. Yeah, and that's not everybody's experience, but to have Thieves the first product, it could be, one of the other emotional blends. Like, here's Present Time, or there's Valor, but this is Marissa and I. We have a similar story, with the Thieves. So anyways, so that's pretty exciting, to when you have that experience, nothing can take that away. That's just like, wow, that's not someone else telling me that they tried it, and, like, oh, you should try this. It's like, oh my gosh, this is for real.
Yeah. I mean, if I could interject, I mean, having had 4 children naturally, and knowing that pain that we go through, and being able to compare how painful that toothache was, because I don't know, sometimes you're just like, I can't handle this. This is so terrible. It's like you get these migraines, and it just wouldn't stop. And when you have that going and going and going, and you just couldn't find relief, and then all of a sudden, like you said, you're like, oh my goodness, what is this? So for me, that was huge. And I mean, that's what it's about. It's just about sharing something and hoping that it will be able to provide the same type of relief for somebody, whatever it is that you're going through.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, when you go through something, it's like sharing a good recipe with someone, or sharing a good movie, or sharing, just anything that, you had a positive experience and you want to share it with someone. It's like, go, you got to go do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. And the greatest thing of it all, honestly, about it is, I haven't had any side effects. That's what I tell people, right? Yeah, sure, you can keep taking medications, and continue, if it's helping. But if it's not helping, which I have a lot of family members are trying things, and I'm like, well, if you're not seeing a result, just try something different. Just, what you can go back to, or you can take, and if it's safe to do both. But all I can tell you is that it worked. That's what people want to know. Does it work?
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with you. Yeah. So, in closing, um, you should trust your immune system, and try to take the fear out of just, you got to trust more. I think with this whole past year, we've been like, do we trust, people in politics? Do we trust this? Do we trust what we're listening to and hearing, and the information we're getting? Well, when it comes to yourself, we want you to feel empowered, and for you to be on your own journey, but just trust your body, and trust that your immune system's going to take care of itself. you know, and you can help it. You know, you want to give your body the right tools to help support itself in healing itself. So, you know, you have that power, you know, to feel empowered that way. So trust yourself and take the fear away. Utilize surveillance on a daily basis over your immune system by first saying daily to yourself, you know, when you wake up, when you go to bed, I am healthy, I am vibrant, I have a strong immune system, I have good working organs and body systems. Everything is working properly. Everything is staying well. And, you know, you have that mindset with your power. The power of your thoughts is so incredible. And the positive thoughts actually create cellular changes in your body. And some of you probably have already learned this, you know, the power of intention, you know, meditation, you know, and just talking to yourself and your body and keeping on that positive level. You know, your body's going to listen to you. You know, if you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm so sickly and I'm in pain and you know, I hurt, your body's going to hear that and it's going to start believing it, you know. So you got to start changing those thoughts and empowering yourself, like, you know, I'm feeling good today, you know, just constantly talking to yourself and putting those positive vibrations and you know, we talk about the oils having a positive, you know, raising your frequency, you know. And so that's another part of this immune system for us is, you know, when you have these oils that are working at a higher frequency, your body is going to be, you know, kind of lifted up and energized on that higher frequency. So it's not going to be working at, you know, what is it, below 58 megahertz, I think, is when you're in disease or illness state. So anyways, and then I want to just go over the 8 things again that I went over so that if you missed them, you have them. So I'm getting my 8 again. Let's see. Okay, so the first one is exercise regularly. The second one is eating live foods. The third one is using quality supplements. I'd recommend the Young Living brand, of course. The fourth one is getting quality sleep. You want that nice REM state of sleep. The fifth one is avoiding stress. The sixth one is staying hydrated. 7, limiting sugar. I mean, really, you know, to really try to cut it out. I mean, using honey is great, raw honey, but just really trying to limit that white sugar. And 8 is living a toxin-free lifestyle. There you have it. That's what I'm doing to stay above line. And, you know, I know Marissa probably does all of those as well. So
we shoot for that, absolutely.
yeah, it's important. So I hope that has helped all of you. We really thrive on supporting you in wellness, and we want to see all of you healthy and well. And is there any questions that any of you have for either Marissa or myself? You can put them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask a question. You know, I haven't even been looking at the chat. I'm sorry, I've been so involved in my conversation that I haven't even looked at my chat. So let me see if there's anything here. Oh, Kelly says, glad to be here. Love supporting you and listening to your new guest speakers. So let's see what else. Oh, someone was having internet problems, but she got on. I know that. Oh, And am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Parwat? Or am I saying that wrong?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, is it Parwat though?
Yeah, yeah, ma'am.
Okay, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, it is morning right now, and you are supplying, both of you, you are sharing stories, and I feel so grateful. You make my day.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
thank
thank you. And I'm
you.
sure Marissa feels the same way.
Thank you for being here
Yeah,
with us. Nice to meet you.
yeah. Thank you so much. Actually, I'm thankful to you, both of you. I'm actually, loving, uh, loving to see the information you are providing is so worthful. And thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you, Parwat. And I continue to pray for your whole community and state or country, because you guys are going through a lot right now.
Yeah, COVID is, the mortality rate is high, and the recovery rate is very low right now. And this pandemic, COVID, the second phase is it's very dangerous right now, and people are not getting enough oxygen, not enough bed.
The hospitals must be so full. That's what
Yeah, yeah, people are, they are getting treatment outside of on the road, and it's it's catastrophic. What I can say, it's very hard.
Yeah.
Life is hard here. COVID shows the it hit the ego of humankind. You human are nothing, and that right now it is showing up like this. It's hard here, and thank you for your praying. Let's
Well,
see.
that's what we try to provide here too, Parwat, is a community, to be supportive and, for you to like just be able to, join in. And, it's the beauty of this is that we can just come together as a world, global community from anywhere
Yeah,
and just try to help someone's day. Like we even have a lot of emotional support, where we'll just have on, what is it, aroma freedom technique. That's one that we've done where it helps support, your emotions and goals and just lots of different things to support. So hopefully you'll come back.
yeah, amen.
We pray for your
And
family.
thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Well, does anyone else have any other questions? We'll just close it up if no one else.
I
Yes.
thought Olga had a question
Oh,
about the
Olga.
oil.
Oh, did
I
she
think it was
write in the
Olga.
chat? Oh,
Somebody,
well,
I think she asked what oil that I use for my hair, and it's the Thieves. We also have a cinnamon bark oil, and that one's phenomenal too. So, yep. So
okay. All right.
you
Well,
can try
thank
that.
you for everyone that's joined us, and we'll keep in touch and let you. Oh, the last thing, the next event is Wednesday next week. I think we're going to go for 7 o'clock, which is a half hour later than this, and it's the 19th of May, and it's going to be on sleep.
Nice.
So
We need that.
if one of those 8 things that I talked about was getting good sleep, so that will be our next topic next week. And we're bringing back Dr. Caroline Nassif, the chiropractor. Okay, so we'll keep you posted on that. We'll send you the link to invite you to the next one.
Yeah, stay in touch. We hope to see you all soon. Okay. Keep your
See
head
you
up.
soon.
Yes.
See you soon,
Everything will
everybody.
get better.
Take
Okay.
care, everyone.
Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Good night.